All right, so one of my, if not my favorite accessory with my float wheel, excuse me, is the new sunglasses I'm wearing. These are the new Meta. What do they call them? The Meta frames. What's really handy is this paired with the float control app Surf.auto made and is in charge of, with the float wheel or Vesk, I think in general. The app notifies you that you are pushing the board. So duty cycle. That's kind of showing you how much power you're using and how much you potentially have remaining. So when my board hits, so let's say I hit like 75%, right? 75% duty cycle. I get a notification letting me know, like, hey, you're using that much of the board that you can potentially use. So obviously, if I'm getting 95%, that's not a good place. You don't want to be cruising at 95%. So it is extremely handy, and it's something that Future Motion could very easily put into their boards or activate. But it's a very nice safety feature. So if I'm climbing up a hill, it's kind of like what haptic buzz, I guess, would be. Haptic buzz, I guess, is like the duty cycle answer for Future Motion, which isn't really good. It's not, you're not physically or visually being able to see, like, okay, this is how much I'm using, this is how much I have left. So it is very important for us to be able to know that. Let me make sure this is still recording properly. I believe it is. So duty cycle is super handy. And then with these Bose frame, or not Bose, those are my old ones. These are the Meta frames. The Bose ones did it too, but I like these ones more, where I get a alert in my ears that's saying duty cycle 75%. So it's letting me know where I'm at. It'll also like tell you, like, if you keep pushing it and you're at, whatever you have it set at, say 85% duty cycle, it'll chime in your ear and say, are you trying to impress me? Slow down. Which Tony from FloatWheel definitely said it best. We need to slow down a little bit, which is true. Debatable. And then what's really nice too is with these sunglasses, I can listen to my music. I can get text message notifications. I don't have to be like looking at my phone to get these notifications. I can definitely use my Apple Watch, which will also show my duty cycle. I use that plenty as well, where I can glance at it, I can see how fast I'm going and what duty cycle I'm currently utilizing. So, sorry, this was not very well rehearsed. It's starting to get dark out, and I wanted to get out here before it got too dark, and tomorrow it's probably going to be too cold in Minnesota. So the other thing that Tony is working on is the BMS. It's going to let us see our cell health, which is, again, incredibly important. We need to be able to know how healthy our cells are. We don't want to take a nosedive because we have a cell out of balance. This is probably my biggest problem that I've had with Future Motion, is they used to have that information available to us where we could go into the app and we could see our cell health. That's not there anymore. They took it away. It's the technology is still in the board, but they just don't want to share it with us. They don't want us to be able to see how healthy our cells are. Definitely 95% sure that's my biggest complaint with Future Motion. I have a lot of them. You guys hear me bitch about Future Motion plenty on the Facebook and forums, whatever. That's just how it is. I've given them over $10,000 in the last 3 years that I've been riding. So after I give them easily over $10,000, my voice, I feel like I've warranted being able to be vocal about it. So if you don't agree with me, tough shit. It is how it is. So back to the initial point of this video, it's really about the sunglasses and the duty cycle. Pairing those two things are incredible. If you don't want to get sunglasses that are chirping in your ear, the Apple Watch works great. I know there's other watches that'll, work as well. I don't know exactly which ones because I've always been an Apple head. where, you know, you don't have to pull your phone out and like open an app. You can just glance at your wrist and see your duty cycle, and your speed. Very important. Tony from FloatWheel, he is working on a smart BMS. I think I'm using it right. I'm not the smartest person when it comes to all this technical shit, but I'm pretty sure it's a smart BMS is what we're after, and that's going to be what shows us our cell health. So as soon as the community said something to Tony about it, he was very incredibly quick to address it and start working on a solution. So I think he's planning in the next handful of months, I think realistically 4-6 months, there's going to be a smart BMS that we can plop right into our float wheels, and we're going to be able to see our cell health. Future Motion, they have that in there, and they blocked us from seeing it, which is complete and utter bullshit. It disgusts me. It pisses me off. We should be able to know how safe our boards are. Not take that right. I mean, I think that's a right. Take that right away, just how a vehicle has a check engine light. Imagine like a car dealership being like, no, we're taking away the check engine light. We're not going to let you see that. Or a car manufacturer, I should say. But yeah, so I would definitely highly recommend getting some smart glasses, whether they're the Bose frames or the Metas here. It's like the Meta Ray-Ban, I think is what you would Google. They're $300 or $320, and they are worth every second. You know, it's so nice when you're riding to listen to music and get in the flow, and it doesn't have to disturb everyone else. I don't want to be the person that has a speaker attached to my board where everyone's like, oh my god, here comes that obnoxious guy with the tattoos. I don't want to be that guy. So I can have my volume up good where I can still clearly hear my music while I'm cruising around at whatever speed I'm going at. And then the duty cycle that is built into the float control app for Vesk lets me know, like, hey dude, you're pushing it, lay off your fucking board, don't be stupid. Yeah, so just something to think about, I would definitely recommend. It's just handy, it's very convenient, and being able to listen to my music at the same time is top notch. So Minnesota riding is damn near getting close to done for the season. Right now it's like 42 degrees out, I think. It's a little chilly. I don't like riding when I'm cold because my legs start getting shaky. And, you know, when I'm carving, you just get that, like, the shiver wobble. It's not fun. It's just because it's cold and your legs are not used to it. So I don't ride in snow either, just because I get too worried about fucking up my board. Especially, you know, the float wheel is not waterproof yet. You don't want to be pushing it too hard in wetter conditions. So yeah, it's probably going to be, I'm hoping March I'll be able to be riding again. I think this winter I'm going to start snowboarding again. I do have a bunch of old videos from this summer of me riding, so I'll be still putting those up. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about the glasses, or, you know, how the duty cycle, I mean, I have a loose understanding of how duty cycle works. Like I said, I'm not Nico, I'm not that smart, I'm not Surf Dotto, I'm not that smart. I just utilize what I feel comfortable utilizing. And duty cycle is number one safety that should be in every single board that we're riding on. And then being able to check cell health is number two, in my opinion. So take it for what it's worth. I'm just a random guy that rides one wheels and float wheels now. I mean, I guess that whole terminology thing. I ride self-balancing boards that balance on one tire. Yeah, that's how. What's that thing? Oh, it's a self-balancing vehicle that I ride that balances on one tire. Yeah, or float wheel, whatever you want to call it, or one wheel, doesn't matter. Yeah, hope you guys all have a great winter. I hope you're somewhere warmer than I am, because it really honestly depresses me. That's another big thing about what these things do in our lives, is this has been a major tool that I use for personal depression. I get it. I definitely get it more in the cold, you know, the winter, the seasonal depression. So it sucks. Like, my depression level goes higher and it's cold out and I can't really go ride my float wheel. It is what it is, but yeah, these boards, all of them, have changed my life for the better. Awesome community for the most part. Some of you guys are pricks, and I'm a prick too sometimes, and that's perfectly fine. The common ground is we all love being on these things and having fun. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll check you later. Duty Cycle just told me I was pushing it too hard. All right, later, guys and gals. Non-band there, pals.